Hello, Hell Shock Rock and Roll Troopers, Hellions for short, to another episode of the Hellion Rebellion Rock and Roll Association, brought to you by none other than Holly Geist. We lost another rock and roll soldier this week, and we need to give him a moment of our respect. This one goes out to legendary frontman, to legendary, iconic Chicago punk rock band, the Effigies, a man known as John Kesdi. He was apparently bicycling down a bike lane and hit a parked delivery van, and it killed him. When I first heard this story, I assumed when they said bike, they were talking about a motorcycle, and I thought, wow, that's very reminiscent of Falco. But no, he was on a bicycle, and I can't help but think of what kind of Tour de France bicycling are you doing in downtown Chicago where you hit a parked vehicle and it actually kills you. I'm still blown away by this. It's sad news. Uh, do yourself a favor, buy some Effigies records. It's a great band. Let's go ahead and give Mr. John Kesdi a moment of our silent respect. Okay. May Mr. Kesdi find the bike lanes in heaven to be free of the evils that you find on the mortal society that we live in today. So tonight we are going to Copenhagen, Denmark, to talk about one of my all-time favorite heavy metal heroes, a man none other known as King Diamond. I am a die-hard King Diamond fan. King Diamond would get his start in the early 70s. I'd say probably 74, 75, and he would be in a slew of bands. Maybe not a slew, but a few bands. These bands would all be pretty much in the vein of punk rock. The names of these bands elude me right now. I know one of them had the word brain in it, Brain Trust, Brainstorm, Brain Dead, something like that. Uh, but the one I do know is a band called the Brats, which was active in the late 70s. The Brats played this sort of working class punk rock style of music. And they're a wonderful band. And if you ever find any of these records or come across any of these records, I mean, pick them up just for collectability purposes, because these things are highly valuable. And it's really good music too. I've only ever heard it on YouTube. From there, he would move into the heavy metal world, and he would create a band called Merciful Fate that would get their start in uh, probably 80, 81. They would put out one of the most important heavy metal records of the 1980s in 1984 called Don't Break the Oath. One of the greatest metal records ever made. Merciful Fate would go on for a few years until King Diamond would decide to call it quits and he would become a solo artist, taking a couple members of Merciful Fate with him. Uh, by the early 1990s, King Diamond would reunite uh, Merciful Fate. And since the early 90s, Merciful Fate and King Diamond have lived hand in hand, harmoniously making their witchy occult music for the masses all the way until right now as we speak. Mr. King has recently gone through a lot of health issues in probably the last 10 to 15 years. He is a very health conscious individual now, and but was that conjunction junction? What's that function? But if though he's still very active, if you get a chance to see King Diamond, go and do it, because who knows how much longer he's going to do this. I think he had a triple bypass heart surgery when 2015 or something. So I mean, yeah, I don't care how healthy you are, you don't know if that's ever going to fail. So this is a guy I really don't want to have to do a moment of silence for in the next few years. I'd like to enjoy his music for years to come. But again, if you have a chance to go see him, definitely go do it. He does a vaudevillian horror show that's reminiscent of my main man, Alice Cooper. He is highly influenced. I think he claims Alice Cooper is probably his most favorite artist, kind of like me. And other than that, I mean, the man is incredibly famous. He's a legend in heavy metal. He's highly influential when it comes to the image of black metal. Definitely comes from King Diamond. The other thing about him is he has one of the most unique voices I have ever heard, and to this day, he has one of the most unique voices in heavy metal. And it's one of those things that um, the first time you hear it, you either fall in love with it or you really don't like it. And I'm not going to try to push that on you. I totally understand. With me, I was immediately drawn to it. And I wouldn't say his singing style, he's right up there. I wouldn't say he's up there with the Bruce Dickinsons, the Freddie Mercurys, the Ronnie James Dios, the Rob Halfords. I don't know if his voice is right up there with those guys, but you can't say the man doesn't have the greatest male falsetto in heavy metal history. Probably even better than those guys is. Um, and hell, I mean, he is a great singer. I mean, he definitely comes close to a lot of what those guys can do. So, what else do I have to say about? Oh, well, King Diamond is also a dual citizen of the United States. I think he's a dual citizen of the United States. If not, he has a house in the United States, and he lives in the area of Dallas, Texas, or he did. He did in the '90s, and I have a funny story for you. I have friends that live in that city, and I remember probably back in '95 or so, I was going over to Dallas to go visit some people, and I said, you know what? When I get to Dallas, I'm gonna see if King Diamond is in the phone book. I'm gonna call him up because I know his real name. And I get to my friend's house, we're chilling, and my buddies were like, "Hey, I thought you were gonna look up King Diamond and call him up." I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, let's call up King Diamond. So I look in the phone book, and for you young folks out there, this is still back in the days where once a year you would get a phone book when you paid your phone bill, and all everybody who lived in that area, there was a number and all the businesses and all that. And I'll be damned if King Diamond's number wasn't in the phone book. His real name is Kim Peterson. So I'm like, holy shit, this guy, he's in the phone book, yo. So I called him up, and it rang and rang, and then it went to an answering machine. And this is back in the days when answering machines probably still had little tapes. They may have gone digital by 95. I don't know. But it was an answering machine. And nobody was home. Like, well, there's that. Why not? Who knows? I, it probably wasn't 5 minutes later. This guy star 69 me, or star 69 the number. And everybody was like, "Oh, put it on speaker, answer the phone. It's King Diamond, it's King Diamond." So I answer the phone, and this guy goes, "Yeah, somebody from this number called me." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a Mr. Kim Peterson." And he goes, "Are you a bill collector?" I'm like, "No. I was just looking for Mr. Peterson. Kind of wanted to know if he wanted to hang out with me and my friends tonight. We're going downtown. We're going to go hang out in downtown Dallas tonight." He said, "Kim Peterson, are you looking for a stripper?" I'm like, "No, I'm not looking for a stripper. I'm actually looking for a legendary rock star." And he started laughing his ass off. He's like belly laughing. He's like, "What?" And he goes, he's like, "Yeah, that's cool, man. I I am not he of which you seek, this Mr. Peterson. However, if I was he, I would be highly flattered and much appreciative of the offer." And we were like, "Hey, beers and doobies on us, man." And he started laughing and laughing. He's like, "Yeah, I think you guys have the wrong number, but again, that's pretty funny. You guys gave me a pretty good laugh today." And being the smartass that I am, it's like, "Well, if you change your mind, King, we're gonna be in downtown Dallas at so and so club. Show up if you want to." And that was it. He never did show up, but that was the closest I ever got to hanging out with King Diamond. And everybody was like, "You sure that was King Diamond?" I'm like, "Dude, he had an accent. He had a European accent. I guess that's Danish. It kind of had a hard sort of feel to it. I don't know. It definitely wasn't a Texas accent." But anyway, again, I absolutely love this guy's music. I hope he makes more music for many years to come. What I'm going to show you tonight is one of his newer records. I think this was a return to form to records like Abigail or Them. This is Give Me Your Soul, Please. I actually have a German pressing on Massacre Records, and I am the proud owner of number 438 out of 500 on clear vinyl. And honestly, I think one of the best songs on here is a song that was nominated for a Grammy back in, God, it'd been, what is this, 2010, I guess. So this would have been 10 or 11. Um, and the song's called Never Ending Hill. I think it is probably the best song on this record. So let's go ahead and listen to some tunes. song. That should have won the Grammy. I don't know who won the Grammy that year. Of course, none of us would really know if it wasn't for the internet, because the Grammys don't show heavy metal anymore. You have to go online to find out who wins these awards. But anyway, there you go. There's King Diamond with his unique vocal stylings and his unique style of music. I'm probably just I'm preaching to the choir, but if you're a young person and not familiar with this artist, there you go. There he is. It's pretty interesting. One of the greatest heavy metal artists that has ever lived. Long live King Diamond, and I will see each and every one of you next week. Devil bless.